Safety equipment. Safety equipment must meet the required marine standard. It must be maintained in very good condition, accessible, that is, easily reached, where it can easily be seen and ready to be used at all times. What standard must safety equipment meet? Marine standard. Must safety gear be in good condition? Yes. Must safety gear be easily accessible? Yes. What does easily accessible mean? Easy to reach. A fire extinguisher is in operational condition if the needle in the gauge is in the green. The date on the label does not tell you if it's operational, it's just a date. 1 second past midnight on the date it runs out will not stop it working. While it is not required that you carry a fire extinguisher, it is recommended that you carry one. And the one most typically carried on boats is a red fire extinguisher with a white band. It has dry powder in it. Just think, white powder equals white band. How can you tell if a fire extinguisher will actually work? The arrow is in the green. What is in a red fire extinguisher with a white band? Dry powder. Let's look at each safety equipment item a bit more. Because we always anchor in sand, we need to know that the most common sand anchor is the Danforth. It's best in the sand and it's easy to store flat. Remember that, Danforth. When using an anchor, always lower the anchor slowly while you move the boat backwards. Do not just tip it over the side, or you could end up with the anchor tangled up in its chain and rope. Chain and rope create scope. Scope is the length of chain and the rope that is between the anchor and the boat, as compared to the depth. So, you need to put out 5 times the depth at the anchor, if you have the usual 3 meters of chain attached to the anchor. So, there's the depth, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times as long as it is deep. The anchor is usually attached to a short chain, and then the chain is attached to a rope, which then goes up to the boat. The reason there is a chain joined to the anchor is because the chain part sits on the ocean floor and helps the anchor to pull horizontally and stops the anchor getting pulled by the rope and the boat jerking on it, sort of like a shock absorber. The chain lying along the ocean floor also helps reduce chafing because the chain rubs against rocks and sand on the ocean floor, while the rope goes up through the water and does not get chafed. Remember, while it is not a requirement that you carry an anchor, it is recommended that you carry an anchor at all times. Once the anchor is set, we need to see if it is dragging by taking a bearing, or we line up some things. Remember, a transit, to see if we are moving. What is a Danforth? Flat, fluke, sand anchor. What is a Danforth anchor best for? Sand. Do you lower the anchor while going forwards or backwards? Backwards. What is scope? Anchor and rope let out. How many times the depth should scope be? 5. How do we check if the anchor is holding? Transit. You need to check that life jackets are suitable for the weight range of the person and check that it is a snug fit. Check the life jackets have no cuts and tears that could let water into the jacket, and check the tabs are not frayed. The tabs are the little bits that hold it together, the little plug-in gizmos. It is law to carry them on a boat. However, It makes good sense to wear one in these 4 situations: bad weather, when boating alone, when you have small children, or if you're a poor swimmer. How many PFDs do we need to carry? 1 per person. Do you need different size PFDs for different weights and sizes? Yes. Does it need to be a snug fit? Yes. Does it need to be checked for tears in fabric? Yes. Do the tabs and clips need to be checked? Yes. When should you wear a PFD, even if the law doesn't make you? Bad weather, alone, poor swimmer. Should you wear one in bad weather? Yes. Should you wear one when you are alone? Yes. Should small children wear one? Yes. Should poor swimmers wear one? Yes. Flares. Let's look at flares again. Red handheld flares, handheld, are mainly for night, as they have a bright light, but they are only for closer to shore or to other boats. Orange smoke flares are designed for day use and are mostly visible from an aircraft, even on a windy day. Don't get confused by kilometres and nautical miles. The rules are all about nautical miles. Everything now is based on 400 metres and 4 nautical miles. However, when you learn about flares, you will see that a red handheld flare is visible at a distance of 4 to 6 kilometres. Note, this is kilometres, not miles. You must not ever falsely set a flare off. It is illegal. It also wastes valuable rescue resources, and it could cause them to not be able to respond to a genuine emergency that may be happening. If you need assistance, do not wait till it gets dark. If you need assistance, call for assistance immediately. Don't wait till everyone in all the other boats around you goes in. Signal ASAP, as soon as possible. Waving, that's a signal. If you need assistance, first, maybe try using a radio, flares, or other methods before you use the EPIRB. EPIRB is the last resort. If you accidentally turn an EPIRB on, turn it off immediately and let AMSA know as soon as possible. There is a phone number on it you can call, 1-800-641-792, or you can just call on your marine radio. Call your nearest marine station. Can you set flares off for fun? No. Why not? It is illegal. Must your EPIRB be in date? Yes. When should you call for assistance? ASAP. What should you do if you set an EPIRB off accidentally? Turn it off? Tell AMSA. There is only one type of marine radio that needs the operator to hold a certificate of proficiency. That's a license. This is a VHF marine radio. If you don't have a VHF radio license, it's not that hard to get. Just study some theory and do a short practical with iiCaptain. To find out more, just go to the iiCaptain website, www.iicaptain.com.au. The radio distress and calling channels are VHF channel 16 and 27.88 on 27 meg radios. The 27 meg does not need a certificate of proficiency. It is worth noting that the 27 meg radios are being phased out. A mobile phone cannot replace a marine radio because other boats in the area can't hear you calling on your mobile phone. Also, a mobile phone isn't easy to locate with direction finding equipment, and marine radio batteries also last a lot longer than mobile phone batteries. We know that. What type of radio do you need a license for? VHF. What is the distress and calling channel on VHF? 16. What is it on 27 MHz radio? 27.88. Do you need a certificate of proficiency for a 27 MHz radio? No. How is a mobile phone different to a marine radio? Shorter battery life? Can't be heard by others in your area. A mayday call means a boat is in grave and imminent danger, not that somebody's hurt their foot. A pan-pan is used for urgent safety of a vessel or person, e.g., a medical emergency, a man overboard, or a mechanical breakdown. If you are in grave and imminent danger, what call do you give? Mayday. What call is used for urgent safety issues? Securite. What call do you use for a medical emergency? Pan-pan. And a breakdown? Pan-pan.